Well, hello, Miss Rachel.
Greetings. Hello.
Um, I guess I've known you for about 20 plus years.
Yes,
Seems
I
about
have.
right.
There are pictures I have of you where I'm in like embarrassing phases. I mean,
Wait,
you might be also, but
wait, you have pictures of me from I don't well, we might have to show not to eat the interweb, but you need to send those to me or show me those
I
somehow.
will. I will dig them up. I meant to do that before this.
I don't think I was ever in an embarrassing phase. I think I just say fuck it and go with it. But maybe you might have thought it was embarrassing. I might have, and it might be. It might be.
like,
Um,
yeah,
how did uh how did we meet? Was it through Rob?
they must have been. They must have been.
I
Because
remember
Rob, yeah,
I
he had the
remember
car.
yeah, but then you got the car.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cuz I remember you used to come pick me up all the time. Cuz I never drove and I still don't drive, so
Oh, really?
I mean, why start now, right? I got to stay something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Fuck that. Fuck that shit.
So let's see. Let's just start out with are you from where you from originally? Clarksville?
I am originally from Southern Illinois near Carbondale in the sticks.
Okay.
And um, my parents had a progressive Christian heavy band. And that was like their thing as they played shows and stuff. And then that didn't work out financially. So, long story short, my dad became a professor, chemist, went to Austin P. We moved so he could be a professor there. And he went on to work at NASA in Huntsville and DC and like works on propellant in particular. And he now has moved back to Nashville and is a professor at Fisk
Oh,
at
nice.
an HBCU, which is so fucking sweet. And they have a rocket program. So like every at least one Saturday a month, they have to drive 2 hours to Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and they do a rocket launch. But it's all like HBC. It's Fisk kids. So
That's pretty cool.
um, yeah, he's trying to get more minorities to participate in private space enterprise or something. And so yeah, thrilled to have him back. It's awesome. But that's why we moved to Tennessee was because of him. My
Now,
mom was a teacher in the school system.
where did she teach at? High school, elementary school?
Rossview,
Oh, okay.
before that Kenwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still teaching in the school system or she retired?
She's retired and they moved
Yeah.
to Tampa. She's
Oh,
remarried to a
okay.
guy that like still wants to do the praise band thing and they still fucking rage on Sunday morning. I'm
Hell
like,
yeah. Do it.
you do what makes you happy, man. Like it's
So,
awesome.
your parents had a band. Was it if am I right with the name? Was it called Rapid Fire?
Close. Oh my God. That's a very good guess. It was Rapid Flight.
Flight. Okay, I have a picture of me holding this record about a year ago. I think Rob might have sent it to you. Yeah.
The
But
lyrics are so good, man. It's good.
yeah, I try to have him come off with it. I wanted to have it for myself, and he was like, "Nope." So it's a
It
relic.
goes for I saw it. I googled it once, and it was like going for quite a lot on a German Discogs thing, and I was like, that's so fucking punk.
So
And it was
rad.
about like you know God's creation. The '80s
But
were cool for that. It was like a different kind of Christian then, like almost like a psychedelic Christian versus.
what it is now?
Yeah, they're not fun now.
No, I mean, now it's weird because like back in the early 2000s, I was in a band, and they quote unquote were. I guess they said they were a Christian band, but I didn't feel they were. But anyway, we played with a lot of the newer generation of Christian metal bands and like
There's
punk
some
bands.
very legit Christian heavy stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's bands now that people wouldn't believe you if you told them they were Christian bands, and they would have been, no, no, they're not a Christian band. But like August Burns Red, they're huge and they're
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Christian band, you know.
Hmm.
But no,
I listened to Zayo a whole
yeah,
bunch.
oh yeah,
I
Zale,
wore them out.
Norma Jean, you
Norma
know,
Jean. Oh yes.
yeah, there's I mean, but I mean that they were popular back in the day. They were huge, you know.
Hmm.
But so what got your music interest? What got you into music? Your parents, obviously, but what turned you on? Like, what was your first
Uh,
taste?
So in junior high, in 7th grade, I got on a school bus because we took the bus. That was back when like your parents just like punted you out the door and they were like, fucking good luck. And like your hair's frozen.
Yeah.
Illinois, like shit's terrible. But anyway, there was a tape someone made that was like laying in the floor of the school bus, and it had NWA on one side, and it had it was either Jane's Addiction or Red Hot Chili Peppers on the other side. And like either way, I got my gourd exploded.
Yeah.
And was like, oh, this rap is they're feeling something I've never felt before,
Yeah.
And that was around the age like we lived in student housing on campus, and so like I went from never having a person of color in my life ever to like I'm the only white person in the cul-de-sac. And I was like, holy shit. And they were like, we're gonna go see it was MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, and In Vogue at the Carbondale Arena or whatever. And I was like, yes. It was a golden era. I saw Jodeci,
Hell yeah.
Shy or whatever.
No, you're right. Yeah, Shy.
These are deep
SHAI.
cuts.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was when I first was like around anybody that was skateboarding and
Oh, nice.
learned about Metallica and that kind of stuff. And then thought I was gonna skateboard, and it was fucking terrible. So by the time we moved to Clarksville as a sophomore, that's a terrible time. Well, you've moved a lot.
Yeah. I moved here my senior year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible. I am so sorry. Yeah, but when we moved to Tennessee, it was just such a culture shock. Like people were just really nice.
I said the same thing.
Are you serious?
Really? Yeah, because I felt like coming from California, because that's where we were at before here. I just didn't feel like they cared. And you come here, like if like this is just like the school system, honestly. But then you come here, even the teachers, they were like caring about you and they cared about your education and shit, But Southern hospitality was a thing, and I still believe it is a thing. It was really interesting, But yeah, I felt that way. I have a similar story too about you said NWA, you found a tape on the school bus. My first introduction to NWA was on a school bus in middle school coming home. These two dudes were like, put this on, and the bus driver put it on. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, it was like, because it was just like, because you know what they're about, and they didn't hold back on nothing. And I was just like, so like the next day I had some money and I went to the CD store and I bought that CD. It was a NWA, 100 Miles and Running, I think it was called. And I was locked in on that. So you move here your sophomore year, and are you? I mean, you're a pretty chill person, so I mean, I'm sure it didn't take you long to find some people to call your little group, huh?
Yeah, like I guess I met John Carr at church.
Yeah.
And he was sort of like the gateway to a bunch of people. We hit it off right away, and he was like, you ever have a friend that like they're good looking, but you don't like them like that, and they know that you don't like, and like they don't like you like that.
Yeah.
And it's just very like, we can just like hang. He can tell me about bitches or whatever, and it's fine. But yeah, I think like I played guitar at the time, and he did too, and like he would he'd hang out with me, and like he had a car before I did, and his parents were wealthy.
Just a little bit.
For somebody that's from a shithole, I was just like the money. Like when we moved to Tennessee, that was another big culture shock. I was like, there are so many people that are rich as fuck. This is crazy. Yeah. Like when we first moved to Tennessee, we actually lived in the basement of this professor at Austin P because we were like waiting to get this house, and it was in Rudolphtown, which was like right next to CHS. Do you remember Mark Warenchuk? Did you know him?
No, I do not.
Well, anyway, he lived there too.
Okay.
And like he was a skateboarder, so that was definitely like the way I met other people, even though I was terrible at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, music-wise, I think it just once I became aware of Helmet was like the first band that I realized like it matters how the instruments are recorded. And like, of course, In Utero, when that came out, similar, like big roomy drums, and like a lot of Helmet stuff is very empty on
Yeah,
purpose, you know, and dead sounding, and like so you get to hear everything for what it is, which I like. And they're real mathy, and I, for whatever reason, like, music is like a sport to me. Like, I want, what's the most like technically difficult thing we can do? It's
that's
not
what
going to be
you.
fun to me to play pop music, or you
Yeah,
know, it just gets boring really fast.
Helmet was one of those bands when I first heard them, I was like, "Holy shit," because they were like, they were mean, but they weren't mean, and and Paige's vocals were different. Because they came out obviously around the same time as like In Utero and like the Offspring self esteem album, and but
Hmm.
that the Helmet was, I thought they were different. They were more, to me they were more raw, more punk. I felt like. And I mean, to this day, I still fuck with Helmet, man. Paige is still a great vocalist, a great writer.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely. We
did
saw
you?
them at a 328 because Dietz was in Today's the Day, and they
Yep.
opened for them. Um, and we got to hang out like behind 328 with Dietz and Today's the Day, and I'm feeling like a pretty cool dude. And I take a couple steps back, and I back into the drummer from Helmet, John Stayer. It was like, like, I am going to barf all over this person, because like at that point I realized I was way more interested in playing drums, because with guitar, like, I would practice a whole bunch and not get better, or there would be like some thing that would elude me and it would make me crazy. And like, if your mom can do something that you can't do, that really crushes your self-esteem. But drums, like, every time I played drums, I could do something I couldn't do the day before, and that's super, uh, I don't know, motivating.
So at that time, you were in Murfreesboro going to MTSU at the time.
Yeah, that was when like I got student loans, so I suddenly had the money to go buy a drum set, and went out and bought this like giant pearl. What was it? Sessions. Like, it was nice. It was way more drums than I needed, and
Yeah.
all this double braced hardware. Like, I'm really gonna wear it out. It was just so like, yeah, overkill.
So you bought a Lars Ulrich from Injustice for All style drum set.
It's pretty much. And then, yeah, went to play in a. So then I was in like this emo band, basically, um, called the Blueprint Diary, and I can't find it anywhere, unfortunately. And I have it on like some weird format tape
Uh-huh.
that I need to do something about. But anyway, it was really good stuff. It was kind of sounded like a lot of things that came out at the time. Like, we liked Sunny Day Real Estate a whole
Oh
lot,
yeah.
Modest Mouse, some indie rock kind of stuff. And then in Murfreesboro, the next band was like with this guy Daniel that went on to be in a band called The Whole Fantastic World that was really good,
Uh-huh.
and my friend Jay, who went on to be in Apollo Up, and then he went to play for And They Will Know Us by the Trail of Dead, and
Really?
now he has an
Wow.
electronic project and lives in Nashville. But
That's pretty cool.
anyway, that was called Lotus Halo, and that was me and Jay and Daniel, and that was like, uh, we were really into mathy, angular. It wasn't heavy by any means. It didn't have. It was instrumental, and that was like the golden age where like life was so fucking good at the time. You could have an instrumental band and people would dig it. Like, we didn't have a care in the world. It was just a
Yeah.
different time. We got to play at the Knitting Factory
Oh,
in
nice.
Manhattan for this CMJ music showcase, and it was
CMJ was that magazine that you get the CDs for, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Or cassette
Um,
tapes too. Yeah.
and then it got delayed by a month because 9/11 happened. I remember,
Oh.
like, we were gonna drive up there, and Jay was like, "Well, turn on the TV," and then 9/11 happened. We were like, "Okay,
Well,
fucking awesome."
so during that time of you, like, in Murfreesboro and in the emo and all that stuff, when did you start listening to, like, did you get into, like, say, math rock, or in like more technical sounding, like more technical bands through MTSU, like meet more people?
Yeah, because everybody there was so good at their instrument.
Oh, for sure.
my husband Jim played drums in Serotonin, and I saw them at Lucy's, and was
Oh,
just
nice.
like, this is the greatest band I've ever heard, because they were, kind of heavy in a hardcore sense, and but super weird the whole time. So that just held my interest, and because I mean, by that point, I'm testing out like I love Mr. Bungle and Secret Chiefs 3, all these bands that are like real noisy or weird. But then also enjoying hardcore and stuff like BOTCH, which is a great band that's touring again.
Did you go to the
We
reunion?
we saw them in Atlanta.
Okay. Had a friend that went and saw them in Chicago, and he was just like blown away. So
It's such ass shaking music, like it's just, it's just,
I saw them like way back in the early day, but I haven't heard anything recently. Like I haven't watched any of the videos from the live shows that they've put out, because I know they're out there on YouTube. I see suggestions all the time. I just need to watch one of them.
They're great.
But, yeah,
they're like still really good.
What was this? Was it this is an anniversary for them to get back together, or are they back together permanently?
I think it's just like a string of shows.
Yeah.
And that seems to be, I guess we're all like going through a collective midlife crisis. We're getting all introspective and shit. We just went to this, it was called Best Friends Forever. I'm burping because I'm drinking this delicious local Maypop. Yeah, we went to Vegas to this music fest that was 3 days, and it was all these bands from that era, like Sunny Day Real Estate, the Jesus Lizard, Karate, all different kinds of like indie punk.
Okay.
So the next weekend was When We Were Young Fest, which is more like mainstream, and this was like the bands that were probably 10 years before that were a little more underground.
You said, did you say Jesus Lizard?
Mm-hmm.
How were they?
They like changed my life.
Yeah.
I'm old too, and I was like, I mean, I'd heard them.
Oh yeah.
I knew way more songs than I thought I would.
There's bands that from even the 90s that I'm like, I never fucked with this band before. And now I'm like, what was I doing? Why was I sleeping on these bands for so many? Like one of them, fucking Jawbreaker. Like I never listened to them, and then now I'm like, what was I doing? Or Jawbox and all these bands. I'm like, what was I sleeping on these bands for? Because they were badass, and I knew friends that listened to this shit. I just never did. So I don't know.
It was a great age. Like I felt like it was just a fire hose of good music at the time.
So much of it out there, like the first Propaganda record, that was like,
man,
that I have so many memories of driving around with Rob, driving around with you, driving around with just everybody listening to that fucking album, because everybody had a copy of it. Nobody knew who gave it to them, but we all had a copy of it,
How to clean everything.
Yep, exactly. Did you go see them at Lucy's?
Yes.
So I was trying to think, because I went as well, and Rob said he went as well, but he went with, I think, John Carr. But he swears I went with him. Maybe I did. I just don't remember. But I remember being at that show, and it was a pretty epic show. And I wish I could go back to that show. That was fun. And then like the next week or the week after, I saw Pansy Division there.
Oh, I didn't get to see that show. They're cool. They're so good. Did you see the Descendents at Brooklyn Bowl?
Wait, well, like how
in the last year?
The Brooklyn Bowl. Is that the one next to the baseball field?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was there with the Adolescents and Circle Jerks.
Man, I was there.
Yeah, no, I was there.
Damn. All right.
And then the month after that, I was at Mr. Bungle. So you weren't there.
No, not that one. I had to travel for work.
Oh, but Descendents, Adolescents, and Circle Jerks blew my mind. It was cool because it was a bunch of us old heads there, and we all felt the same because we were standing for so damn long. But we're like, we knew every fucking word. We sang every damn thing. It was great. I think the last time I saw Descendents was at 328.
Man.
And
then they play with back then? Do you remember?
I'm going to get this wrong because I always get it wrong, but I swear it was Helmet. And I always get this wrong. I think I'm wrong.
No. I think you're wrong because I think I know who Helmet played with Quicksand, and I was not old enough to go.
That okay? Then that's the show I saw. I saw both of them, but yes, the Quicksand Helmet show was correct. Yeah. And now, who would have thought that Helmet would be this fucking this legacy type band? You know, I don't know what I don't know what to call it. I would say a legacy kind of band. I don't know.
Like you accidentally saw Elton John.
Yeah,
in a garage.
They just they just did a split record. It's a cover album with Hot Water Music, where they cover 2 Hot Water songs and Hot Water covers 2 of their songs. And it's every other song. So it's like Quicksand, Hot Water, Quicksand, Hot. I couldn't tell the difference because they did them that well. So it was pretty epic. It was pretty cool.
I'll check that out. That's cool.
And then Quicksand did a cover of a Refuse song for the Refuse 25th anniversary. They just did it. Everyone did covers, and Quicksand did it, and it sounds just like Refused. So that's pretty cool.
I've heard their cover of that Smith song.
Which
back
one?
in the day. How Soon Is Now.
Yep. Yeah. Did you ever see Quicksand at all? Ever?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever seen them.
I'm gonna say I never have either, just so you feel good. Okay, I've never seen them either. So
that's super kind of you. But speaking of old punk music, when we went to that thing in Vegas, we went to have you heard about the Punk Rock Museum?
Yes, I want to go so fucking bad.
Dude, it was so awesome. It's like, majority, or it leads with, of course, like SoCal, No Effects, and that kind of stuff. But then there's like a whole section about DC punk and a whole section about hardcore and like German punk and British punk, and yeah, it was super sick.
Did you have a guest, or I mean, did you guys have like a guest like tour guide, or was it did you guys just walk through by yourself?
The guy, it was Jesse Michaels from Operation Ivy, happened to be there the day we were there.
Wait, when were you there just recently?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's videos on his Instagram page of him talking to people in front of the Operation IV posters. Maybe you're in those pictures, in those videos. You never know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Trying to stay out of it.
I went to Denver in July, the middle of July, for the Punkish Drublic Say Farewell to No Effects tour, and it's a well talked about show because hell broke out on Saturday because of the rain, and the rain there just fucked everything up. They had to cancel it. MXPX was up, and they didn't start off. And I see the banners, all the banners are coming down. The speakers are going lower. I'm like, are they canceling? And then they did that because of the winds. So MXPX comes out, plays their set, in which they fucking just destroyed it, as they always do. And then they are like, hey, we got to call the show. So me and Rob go, and we go sit in his Jeep, getting drenched on because there's leaks and holes and sideways rain and wind. Well, basically like a mini tornado came through the merch area and destroyed all the merch tents. It was bad. And then the next day we get No Effects 2 days and two sets in a row instead of 2 days in a row. They made up for it, did an earlier set than day, but we didn't get the full 2 hour set each night. We only got like a 35-40 minute set the first set, and then the next set that evening we got like an hour and a half set. So we didn't really get the full 4 hours of No Effects, and I was really bummed about. But
no kidding,
But
where were you when it was like breaking loose?
We were in Rob's Jeep, fucking trying to. Yeah, we were in the parking lot, but it was a walk back to this fucking car, man. And I was a little bit Denver-fied, if you know what I mean. And
no,
yeah, I was I didn't know where we were going, but anyway, we got destroyed, and we waited until we saw on Instagram when Fat Mike was like, Yeah, Fat Mike was like, "Hey guys, we got to call it, and we'll pick up tomorrow, new times and everything." So they had to rearrange the whole sets because I got to see Suicidal, but they only did like a 25-minute set instead of a 40-minute set. I got to see who else played? No, not Pennywise. Goddamn, I can't remember who I see now. But I got to see No Effects, and that's all that matters. Again, so. But
yeah, I never got to. That's amazing.
yeah, I've seen them at Warped Tour so many times. I saw one Warped Tour. It was Paramore was headline. No, Paramore was first, then No Effects, and then Under Oath was headlining. And Fat Mike, being Fat Mike, was like, "If you, I never thought I'd come to Nashville and be inside a Christian sandwich before." Talk about Paramore. And then he was like, "I was here about 18 years ago, and I remember fucking this hot chick, and she said she had a daughter." And he was talking about Haley, and that's why Haley has never forgotten him or forgave him about that, and that's why Paramore was not in the rock and roll or the punk rock Hall of Fame or museum because he asked for some of her stuff and she declined. So
Well,
who
I
cares?
don't know that I consider that. Well, whatever. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
talk shit about it. They seem like they're super good people. They're not my musical cup of tea, but also there's an aspect of punk rock that like it may not be for you,
yeah.
where it gets kind of dangerous and you're a little bit scared for a minute sometimes. And
Are you
like,
saying you're scared of Paramore?
no, that's the like,
yeah, yeah. Um,
yeah.
so tell me about some of these bands that you were in throughout the day. I know there's a band, um, and actually you were in this band in the '90s, or maybe you weren't in the band in the '90s, or maybe you were. But tell me about Wife Beater. I have a
Okay.
flyer here with for a benefit that me and Rob are doing back in '98, and Wife Beater was on the flyer.
Well, there were so many iterations that I don't know which one, like if I was in that one or
Okay,
not. Um, if if there was a girl in it, then it was me. But we all wore wife beaters, and the music was so stupid that like it was my first opportunity to like jump around and act stupid.
were you playing guitar at that time?
Hmm. Yeah, it was just really really stupid. And the lyrics, it's like something about hamsters being around his balls, and I like he talks about his balls a lot. That's like a fundamental part of
Who was singing on there?
Dietz.
Oh, that really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
been a revolving door of Dietz's friends, recorded competently, played amazingly. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you could read the lyrics,
I'll have to ask him for some.
it's poetry.
Yeah, he's a very interesting guy. But he's a good dude.
He
He's
is a
done
good dude. He's a real
he
one.
he's done a lot for a lot of bands in the area as far as recording bands and just playing with bands because his catalog for what he's done and played with is crazy. He was in Serotonin, right?
Yeah,
Played
bass
bass. Yeah,
player.
yeah.
Serotonin actually. This is top secret, but they practice here and they're practicing.
Oh, that's pretty epic.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
I'm excited.
They were a pretty big deal during that time, yeah? Like kind of sort of.
I think I could
Like
play with some bands that went on to be a big deal. Jimmy
yeah.
Eat World was one of them.
Oh, nice.
Like just the real. They were like mathy rather than being poppy, but there's definitely like big chunks that were very sing alongable, where you could like hang with it. It
Yeah.
wasn't just atonal the whole time.
Yeah.
But so I guess after Lotus Halo, I definitely played in some other bands, but the next one that was super noteworthy would be Forest of Tigers, probably. And that one I was in for a long time. And that was just me and Jim.
Okay.
Me on drums, him on guitar, but he had like two half stacks. So he could do like A, B, Y. He has an ABY pedal. And he's also playing through a bass rig. So he can engage this octave pedal to send some of the signal to the bass amp, so it sounds, and there's like loops and samples and stuff.
Yeah.
which has been it's really really hard to like keep a beat when you're when you can't see anybody doing anything. All you can do is like hear it and try to play to it. It's tough. But
Are
then
you
COVID hit. Like we made an album. It's on Bandcamp and Spotify and stuff. And we got to tour some. We were really into a scene that was in Brooklyn at the time. That was like this New York black metal scene, but it was like avant-garde black metal, like Krallice,
okay?
Yellow Eyes. Can't think of any good ones at the moment, but there was sort of like a punk sensibility about it. It was still pretty stripped down, but they were all like insane musicians, like probably went to Berkeley or whatever, and here they
Yeah,
are in like this shitty dive in Brooklyn, like ripping your face off, and it was just really awesome. And met some really cool people. Like we played a show in Philly where the place we slept in was like above a chop shop, and we didn't realize it at the time. And,
oh
like,
shit,
we thought for sure the van was going to get broken into because it was just a very sketchy area, but always ended up being fine. With that one, like I'm really proud of it in terms of technical ability and stuff. But then COVID hit, and so we couldn't really do anything. And then I think even to this day, like I'm just wrestling with wanting to play, like some PTSD after COVID, I think. And I don't know. Basically, like COVID plus Trump, I wasn't the same after that.
yeah. I
Um,
li- I listened
yeah.
to some of it and I enjoyed it. I was into it. 'Cause I went to band camp the other day and was checking it out.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I think I mean you guys there's still a scene for that, you know. There's I know Atlanta has a huge scene like for down there. Um, and I know there's a few bands in Nashville now, but I have a friend of mine who's he's in like a US black, I guess it's the US black metal because
Yeah,
there's,
absolutely.
and then they're in Germany right now playing a black metal fest over there, and but they're
From where? From Clarksville?
no they're well they're no, they you don't know where they're from, but
Oh,
they're
oh,
they're
oh.
no, I mean they're from Springfield or Pleasant View, somewhere around there, you know. But well, the drummer's from Hoptown, and then the guitar player's from Pleasant View, and then they have a band that they tour with or play with, you know. Um, and I always say their name wrong, but I think it's called Sadian,
Okay.
Saidan. But they got all their records always sell out, all their merch sells out, and they got this label in Germany that's those records. They got a label in Chicago that does stuff for them, and their shit just sells out all the time. But
That's awesome.
they put on a great show. They only play in the area here like once, maybe twice a year, because make it more special, I guess you'd say. But so you're not playing any currently then, no? No.
No, no. I actually just played the night before last for a while on my own, but like for the past year, if I play, I just play along to like 90s club music is my favorite thing to listen to. Um,
Like CNC Music Factory?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
I mean,
Um, because a lot of it's at the right BPMs where you can be like, you can you can transfer over to a black metal beat if you
yeah.
want to practice that that speed, and then but whenever your arms get tired, you can just do a breakdown to it. And
I can
but
see
yeah,
that.
it's like a metronome that's more interesting. That's all.
I mean, that's
Um,
cool. I mean, you gotta get that. You gotta get jock jams and start playing some jock jams. You know.
some
uh,
what would be on Jock Jams? Yeah, like
uh,
CNC Music Back. I have it's a. I'll fucking invite you to this playlist, and you're gonna be like,
oh
there
yeah.
are some bangers on this. Like,
Well, you said jock jams. I would love to find that on vinyl. Actually, I don't even. I guarantee you, it's not on vinyl. If there is, it's somebody made a bootleg of it. But I would pay. I would pay for the bootleg. Okay.
that's
Pump up the jam. Pump it up.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
Technotronic is definitely on here. We've got some.
I picture Eric Nies from The Grind. That's all I picture. Remember The Grind?
That's
Fucking
yeah. That's life was different. The kids today, they'll never know. Like
no.
we had it all.
No, I can't go out right now. I'm watching fucking TRL. You
Exactly.
know.
Oh yeah, so we got some Sandstorm. We got some
Mm.
Ace of Base,
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
um, La Bouche.
Ooh, yeah.
But then you mix that with like Harlem Shake is on there and Turned Down for What.
Yeah. I mean, there. Hey, when I used to work, well, I still work in the kitchen, but when I would put, when I had a stereo, now everybody wears earbuds now, so I play like that kind of stuff. I mean, club. When you're in the kitchen, you got some club music on, you're good. You could be dancing.
That's it's the best.
I
So
can't
if I could
dance
do
though.
anything, I would play drums and we basically play like club music, except it's live instruments. You
So
know,
not so kind of like what DJ AM did with Travis Barker.
I've never seen that actually.
Oh, well, they had a thing called it was DJ AM, who's the DJ, and then Travis Barker. He DJ, but Travis Barker did all the drums behind them, and they did it. They did a like live show like that where it's like an hour and a half, and he's just back there playing drums while he's up there mixing in the DJ. It was pretty fucking dope. There's a few. They got
Hmm.
2 records out there. It's pretty cool. And rest in peace, DJ AM. But yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was the first of its kind. Someone doing that, like maybe not first of its kind, but brought to the masses, I guess you'd say. And when I was actually DJing for a while, we had a drummer do that with us too. After we saw that, he came up and did it behind there. It was pretty interesting, but it was pretty fun. So
Man,
it's,
yeah,
I
I think that'd
mean,
be really fun.
because
And to have like
what's the BPM? 120?
yeah,
Yeah,
well, 130 is like this is pretty fast paced, and
yeah,
then around 144 was like my
yeah.
that's it's gonna get off the rails if I try to. I are we talking about doing it for a minute? You're talking about doing this for 7 minutes. Fuck that shit.
Okay.
I can't do
Um,
that.
what kind of stuff are you currently jamming out to?
Well, I think one of my favorite things that's new is this band Kubla Khan.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude, from Texas. They're
Hmm.
yeah, they were just here recently and I didn't get to go.
We went to that. They were amazing. Their drummer is just like he's all feel. I mean, he's
Yeah.
just buttery, buttery delicious.
I've never heard buttery described as drumming, but that's
Like he plays like a pothead. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I'm like you
I
like a
got you.
pothead.
Yeah. I
But I
wanted
hear on Instagram and stuff that like they've said things that are problematic, and I have yet to see what these things are. So, uh, like I
yeah.
don't know if it's okay to say I love them. If there's something terrible, someone please tell me. But as far as I know, like he's got some lyrics that are really powerful and progressive.
Yeah.
So
The main reason why I wanted to go was because of Terror. I'm a huge Terror nerd. Like I have a record slash CD cassette collection page on Instagram, and every day, like I always post a record in the morning that I listen to every morning. I listen to a record in the morning, and then I'll post a Terror record. So every day for like the last 3 months, I've been posting a Terror record, and I still got like 4 or 5 more months worth of Terror shit to post.
how
I got
many how many albums is that?
Well, I have about 130 different Terror variants. Yeah.
Damn, that is crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
but then when I lost my job, the money went differently, and I quit buying every fucking variant that I don't need them, and I still really don't need them. I just need one copy because I don't. You're not going to play every variant.
mhm, mhm.
Um, but I still will buy record. I still will buy their records if I find them somewhere. Like I still go looking for the ones I don't have. So, but yeah, if you love it, you love it.
That's true. Um,
Yeah, Kubla Khan's really cool. I like them. Did you guys stay the whole show?
mhm.
Did you guys?
Oh,
What did?
Harm's Way a lot.
Yeah, Harm's
They're
Way is.
great.
They played the Warehouse.
That's awesome.
They played the Warehouse when they were opening up for Soulfly. Yeah, Soulfly
What?
played the
How
Warehouse.
long ago are we talking here?
Um, Within the last 10 years, 15 years.
So I mean, but a while ago.
Yeah, Max
Wow.
Cavalera was on the stage at the Warehouse. It's pretty epic. And Crowbar has played the Warehouse. Fear Factory played the Warehouse. ICP, Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, and they're all sold out shows. It was pretty cool to see that
It's
though.
as if there's people on a base that like heavy music.
Yeah, and now we have no venue at all. There's no venue. I mean, we have this place called the Revel House, which is a cool place. Shout out to Dawn. It's like a restaurant, but at night they have live shows, and it's cool, but it's only on the weekend. It's not like every day of the week
Mm,
type thing. So, and it's not always maybe one heavy show a month she'll do. So yeah, but other than that, we don't really have a venue in Clarksville. Sucks.
I think all of ours are, I don't know, just super mainstream feeling. You know,
Yeah,
there's not a Lucy. I mean, there's Dark Matter,
yeah.
certainly.
Which that's
It,
probably the new Lucy's, I would say. You know,
yeah. Oh, for
um,
sure.
I mean, the end is still cool. You know, and
That's
you know
probably
what?
my favorite place, I think, is the end. Like, in terms of the size, you know, it's the right
Oh,
size to see a heavy band and
yeah, it's
sound
gnarly in
good.
there. Stinky, sweaty. It's
Hmm.
my kind of. It's like we don't have the Muse anymore, so the end is cool. The Muse was like I played that place so many damn times and seen so much fucking bands in that place. It's yeah, but I played
Yeah.
the end in 2019, right before COVID and all that shit. My band at the time opened Guerrilla Warfare. We opened up for Agnostic Front, and that was pretty cool. And it was sweaty and hot, and you open the doors in the middle of the winter, and all you saw was fucking steam coming out because that damn place was so hot. But it was cool, and that was the
Yes.
last show for many many months. But the warehouse opened back up. You know, after all the venues got shut down, the warehouse was like, "Yeah, no, we'll start doing shows again in June." So back in June, we're all fucking playing shows at the warehouse again. No fucks given, but
That's
it
awesome.
was all right. Um, so what's something about you that people would not know? Like what's a well kept secret about you that we can give out?
Oh my God.
Like, did you eat your twin or something? Like,
I don't have anything like that. Uh,
yeah. Like when I was born, they found a shoe or something inside. I don't know.
okay, I have one for you. So
All right.
I have a really terrible tattoo. I mean, I have some really good ones, but I have a couple stinkers for sure. We all do.
Yeah,
We all do.
I still do.
I do love when people are like, "I'm getting it removed," and it looks like horrific. I'm like,
Yeah.
just fucking leave it, dude.
Yeah.
That's worse. That's so much worse. Anyway, it's this like tribal. Oh my God, can I
Is it
do
on your
this?
leg?
Oh yeah,
I got one too on my thigh, on my calf.
can
I
you see
can't.
this?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's this horrible like tribal. Yes, I'm wearing my Titans leggings because I thought it would make a fucking difference.
Yeah, they won. I was watching the wrong game. I was watching my Niners, sorry. Um
Yeah, so I got that tattoo like the day I turned 18. I was all excited, like went to the nearest tattoo shop that was like right next to the dorms. Um, and he did it, and I think it was $60, and I was so excited. And I went home and turned on MTV, and Dennis Rodman is on there, and he had just gotten the same thing,
nice.
exact same tattoo, and I this just the like the shame. I
So
was like, yeah, the
you
biggest
guys
loser.
pick from the same flash.
Yep. Yeah, it
I
was.
I have on my calf, I have a horrendous tribal tattoo as well. Um, I thought that it was supposed to be a dagger in it too. And I was like, oh, I don't want the dagger. Just give me and the dagger probably would have made it worse. But it was some dude's house. I was living at Ashford Place at the time off Memorial. And this dude lived off Memorial too. It was me and two dudes go to this guy's house in his basement, and he has like a piece of linoleum on the floor with a chair with a makeshift sink, and it was shady as fuck. But I didn't care. I was stoned and drunk, and I was like, "Yes, give me a tattoo." Man, it is so much scarred up. It's so bad. For the longest time, I would not wear shorts because of this horrible fucking tattoo, and now I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore.
That's the best part about getting older.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, now I'm the
I don't
old guy
care.
with the shitty tattoos. Like, oh, no, I don't give a fuck. I haven't got a tattoo in probably maybe 20 years.
Really?
Y-
Yeah, I've
I-
got one in the last few years, and I'm always wanting more, but I just can't spend the money. I just
That's my
can't.
thing. It's like I got other shit I got to worry about than my tattoos, but I'm going to get something this not this year because this year's almost over. Next year I will. I'm gonna get my sleeve finished and then I'll be done. And then when I've been sober for almost 2 years, and when I hit my 5 year mark, I'm gonna get overcome on my knuckles.
Ooh,
So I'll be like 50 something, 53, 52,
that's that
53.
is so crazy. That's
Yeah. I
crazy.
just took I just turned 49 3 days ago. So I'm
Yeah,
old.
I remember you saying that
Yeah.
on your podcast.
With Rob. Yeah. He was
I
making he
just
was
turned 46. It is crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not trying to, but we look good for our age, I feel. Because remember
Clean
this?
living.
Remember this shit when we were younger though? People that were our age looked like they were older than what we are now. Like people that were like 45, like, damn, you look old. But now I'm about to be 50. Well, the younger kids probably still think I look old, but I don't I don't carry myself. I still do the same dumb shit. I just have responsibilities like bills. I my
Yes.
hair right now is fucking blonde and I got my sides shaved like it's like a mohawk. And but fuck
Is
it.
that called the berserker?
I don't fucking know. I had one of our last shows when I was in guerrilla warfare a couple years ago. I had my hair was short and I shaved a mohawk and I just left it and then I just kept doing it myself and I fucked it up over the years, but it's grown back and I fix it again. But I feel like it's my look right now because every year you got to redo yourself, I guess. So for 5 years I had hair down the middle of my back and yeah, that was my I got a picture of me on stage playing bass with my snakeskin boots on. Um, basically I look like I belong in a Rat. So, which I would love to be in Rat to
I
this
was
day
about to
still.
say that's fine. Like
Yeah. Like, oh,
they're super
see,
legit.
I was my first love for music was first hip hop. And then when I was in 6th grade, I moved to Germany and I got introduced to Iron Maiden and Metallica. And I was like, this is garbage. What the fuck is this shit? But my mom's friend's son left his those two records. And I fucking fell in love with Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, and Justice for All were the two metal records I've heard. And those records will always be my favorite Metallica record and my favorite Iron
Mm,
Maiden. But after that, I was hooked. I was digging every day for something new.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I didn't include the like the skating rink era. Before
Oh.
finding that mixtape on the bus, the skating rink era would be like Guns N' Roses and
Oh, you see, you had a cooler skating rink.
I mean,
Mine,
it was the only thing there was to do for many miles. But yeah, they'd
mine
always
was.
play that. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, that song by White Lion, "When the Children Cry." Do you remember
Oh,
that
is
song?
that couple skate time?
That was couple skate because it's like super depressing.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I actually listened to the Pride album yesterday or Friday morning before work.
Get out.
No, I did, and I I just randomly pick a record. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna listen to in the morning. And Pride
Mm.
was the album, and it's like the most simplest record cover, but so powerful. Just this fucking white line face, and then I don't know, it's pretty epic. But no, we had like um, when I was roller skating, we were uh, dancing or roller skating like Debbie Gibson and who else was it? Not Push It. That was later. Like Fight for Your Right to Party, some Janet
Yeah.
Jackson, Control, that
Mhm.
kind of that era. Because I'm gonna say like I was probably 10 years old, so I'm gonna say like 90 or 85, 86 era when I was roller skating. Those are fun times though. Parents drop you off with $5 and it was like, call me when you're ready to get picked up. And then you just had the time of your life.
We had
Yeah.
good pinball. They had
Uh-huh.
you remember this arcade game called R-Type by
No.
chance? And shoot
Uh-uh.
these. It was a really good one.
Wait. Did it shoot the plastic things out? No.
No.
Okay.
It was more like a kind of like Contra or something, but you were in
Okay.
this. You were in the guts of a. I don't fucking know. Ship, robot, something.
I love pinball. Pinball was my jam always. Like when I lived in Germany, I would get like you'd know you were cool because you had the $10 roll of quarters. You would get that, and then I'd sit there and just plop in another one, and sit there for hours playing pinball. So good times.
That lasts
Now
you a long time. $10.
$10, yeah. And then I could probably even get some food with that too, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
all the soldiers were cool. They'd be like, "Oh, here's a couple of bucks. Go get you some more quarters." I'm like, all right, cool, you know. Even though I was like 13, I was like, yeah, cool. Well, whatever. Um, that was some good time. That was my favorite years, though. I think living in Germany when I was in my teens. Those good times. I skateboarded a lot. Got introduced to drugs and and drinking beer. But that's what you do, you know. Like that's what you do when I guess you live in Germany, you know. Drink beer, skateboard, and do drugs.
And halfway around the world, we were doing the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
That's really heartwarming.
It's crazy to think about this though. You said around the world. Remember back in the day, people used to peg their pants. Did you like who's like how did people in Germany, the Americans in Germany know this trend, but then in the States they knew the trend. Like these trends traveled. But we could never get
You
the
were a
trend.
pegger? You were into pegging?
Not like that, but I did peg my pants. Yeah, I saw where that was going. I had to stop there, but no. Yeah, I pegged my pants, and I kind of looked like a new wave dude. You know, I had like the kind of like the turquoise button-up shirt with some baggy, I guess they were cargo jeans. I guess I don't fucking know. And then you peg the bottom because they would taper down.
Did you
And
have
then,
loafers?
like the Michael Jackson shoes.
Like
I never had penny loafers or anything like that. I always wore I always had Chucks, or I had New Balances back then, or no, maybe yeah, they were New Balances, but Chucks were my go-to shoe. I had high top ones that would fold down, so you would have like the normal. So they were like the same height of like the 10-eye Doc Martens. They almost go to your shin, but then they folded down and snapped. So you would have like a turquoise shoe and then or a pink part of the shoe, and then the bottom part would be turquoise because it was so 80s back then, you know.
yes, you can mix and match.
Yeah, so yeah.
You can pop one and not the other. You're in control.
Yeah. Style was cool back then, man. Did you ever is there a style that you look back on it you're like, fuck, what was I thinking? Besides the era that you were talking about us?
I mean, yeah, like the raver thing was. It's not practical.
No, especially no, because once the water got on them fucking things, you're walking around with 50 pounds on your shoe.
Hopefully, it's water. You go to like a bar, you go to the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
I go to piss. I stand up. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Like the bottom 2 inches of my fucking pants are just piss, probably.
And then you would wear those fucking pants for like a week anyway. So it's like you're dragging that hard, crusty pants everywhere you fucking yeah. We were talking about that the other day, but they're back now. JNCOs are back. And the pairs that we had are selling on eBay for a pretty penny, and like you could like some people could retire off their fucking their JNCO collection. I only had one pair. It was a black pair, and I bought them at a store in the mall. Maybe I had two pair. Was that the store in front of Dillard's? Yep. Yep. That's I could never. I always thought it was called like Dylan's or Diamonds or something, but BJ's. Okay. And then down the yep.
Oh, Dave worked there.
Dave Ellison, yeah. I didn't know that. Oh, maybe I did know that.
I'm pretty sure.
We all had weird jobs that I remember. I worked at the bazaar.
That's cool.
That was a cool job. Cool. The OG bazaar, the OG one, the one that everybody knew of. But yeah, me and Rob were talking about JNCOs. And he bought me a pair on Post one time because they were cheaper up there, not by much. But I had a black pair. All mine were always black, but I didn't get them like I didn't get like the 72-inch wide openings. I just got the more realistic like 15-inch openings. But then I realized you could just go to the Goodwill and buy a fucking 48 waist pair of pants and just cinch them up and then cut the bottoms off, and you got yourself some fucking big leg jeans.
I mean, yeah, as a female in high school and college, if you dressed like that, you didn't get hit on nearly as much, because you looked like you were deranged or unhinged or a lot of work, or gay.
I
Hopefully,
would say
that's
I think
even
they
better.
probably thought you were like a lesbo or something, but
Hmm.
well, if that works, go for it.
Oh
That's,
yeah, it was great.
So,
Yeah.
um, so do you remember any cool house party stories? You got any house party stories from back in like the Clarksville days, besides the John Carr parties, which were always fun? I have an interview with you, actually. I just recalled this. I should have pulled it up too.
Oh
It's still in
no.
the folder, but it was when I was doing a underground, like I was doing like a zine type thing called 52 Foot Grover. And we were at a house party with INA, and the cops got called, and they got moved from one house all the way over to Dave Ellison's house. Because
Okay.
his parents were out of town. So he's like, well, we'll just move it to my house. So we moved it over there. But I was doing like interviews with people, and there was this guy. I call him the Better Than Ezra guy. That's what I know him by, because he looked like the lead singer from Better Than Ezra. And he drove a VW bus.
Jason Powell.
No, Jason Powell drove the green or the yellow bug, but somebody drove a van. Um, and I'm gonna ask Rob right now because he'll remember. But Jason Powell, yeah, he drove the bug, and that's that bug, and we had so much fun in that bug. Golly,
I'm telling you, he had a van
did he have a
because
van?
there was a girl who, God, I can't believe I'm telling this, was
Okay.
involved in a wobbly H in that van and told us all about it.
Well, I mean, statute of limitations are over now, right?
Sure. I actually don't even remember who it was,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was in his van. I know that. And it
Hmm.
was two dudes. And I was like, whoa,
Interesting.
like, I haven't done that.
A wobbly H.
Hmm.
All right. Um.
It was behind Putt Putt.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. I've had a lot of putt. Did you work at Putt Putt?
No, I was always jealous of everybody that did because I was
Yeah.
like,
I just hung out there and would
yeah.
ride the go karts late at night. And
I worked at the Waffle House for like 6 days.
which one?
That was next to that one.
I used to go there all the time. That was my. I think that's the Waffle House we always would hang out at. Um. And that was one I got kicked out of because me and like 12 other people were tripping acid and acting fools in there. And one of our peoples were trying to leave, and instead of hitting reverse, they hit the gas and they almost went over the ledge in front of that Waffle House. And yeah, that wouldn't have been good. But yeah, we'd all leave there and walk over to the mall and go hang out at the bazaar because they had a blacklight room, and come back, and then all right, you guys go. And as we're sitting there not buying nothing. But that's what we did at Waffle House, right? We all get scrounged up some money. Somebody will get coffee because you get all you can drink coffee. I think Matt
Hmm.
Karen, remember Matt Karen?
Yes.
He would always
Yes.
drink coffee.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I haven't heard from that.
He was like the first friend that smoked all the time, like smoked cigarettes all the
Yeah,
time.
and he always had that. He had the butt part hair. It was always about this length, and he had the big
Hmm.
pants on. And him and John Brandon, they were like inseparable. They were like BFFs.
Hmm. That guy John ended up going to MTSU
Hmm.
and dated for a while this girl that like now I'm friends with and lives in my neighborhood, and it's a very small world.
Oh, totally. It is weird because I was somewhere recently, and somebody asked if they're from Clarksville, and they asked about me, and they're like, "What? They know Russ?" Same thing with Rob. Rob was in Hawaii, and someone found out that they were from Clarksville, and they're like, "Do you know Rob?" Out of the blue, they're like, "Do you know Rob in Hawaii at a hotel?" And they're like, "Yeah,
What?
I know Rob. That's like one of my good friends." And they're like, "Yeah." So they texted Rob, like, "Rob, they just asked me if I knew you at this hotel in Hawaii." I'm like, "Wow." But I mean, Rob knows everybody these days. He's a
That's
very
crazy though. I mean, Clarksville's big.
Oh,
There's a
it's.
lot of people from there.
When was the last time you've been here?
Couldn't tell you. It's been a long time. My
Over
mom, they moved to Tampa, so there's
since.
like there's no reason to go
Yeah,
really now.
this town is so fucking huge. It's so fucking huge. It's insane. I
Mm,
don't even. I go over north side over. I mean, I live on north side, but I go over on like the Sango side, and I don't even feel like I'm in Clarksville anymore. It doesn't even look like Clarksville. You know,
mm.
it's crazy. But town's
That's where
blooming.
we lived,
Huh,
Sango.
yeah.
That's where you live?
No. That's where I went over. I don't know. I live over on north side.
Uh,
I live in the hood. I
mm,
live in the hood I live off over by Kenwood. So,
mm.
but yeah, say I remember where you used to live. You go down Madison Street past what used to be Kmart, keep going straight, and then you lived off in the right there, and then your
Mhm,
house was on the left.
mhm. Man,
Yeah.
you got a good memory.
Yeah, yeah. Because the entrance to the neighborhood was like had the planter in the front. You had to go up one side and then you had to go down the other side. I
The
remember
house was so small,
how
like
many people.
compared to what people expect now. 'Cause it was me and my brother.
Well, how big is your house now?
Bigger than that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Do you just think we need more space? We don't
more
want to
what?
leave. We need more space because we don't want to leave our homes.
Well, this place we has a basement for one thing.
Oh, nice.
It's like I mean, it's an old house. It's like a 50s ranch that needs all sorts of repairs that I'm just putting off. But downstairs, like we can play music as loud as we want.
Hell yeah.
Nobody can hear it. So that was the deciding factor. But it's a 50s house, so it's got like these oppressively tiny bedrooms, with like super tiny closets. And so we just have to be like, well, at least I have to be really strict about like if something comes in this house, something has got to go out. There's nowhere to put
Yeah.
the shit. I mean, we have a vibraphone that belonged to Jim's grandfather. We have like his grandfather's super old Slingerland drum set that's like, it's wrapped up and stuff
Oh, yeah.
for protection. And like this shit just takes up so much space, especially a drum set. Like
Oh yeah, because you got so much shit that comes with a drum set.
I have a real drum set. Like I don't have room for this. And this is my other
Is
drum
your
set
drums
we won't even play.
yours is set up in the basement?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jim's playing it right now in serotonin. So if I were to like start up again and try to play double bass, I'd have to like hook that up each time. Not a big deal,
Yeah.
but
That's
that's
cool.
really the only thing that's different. Like we got to where we would play it the same because we're both lazy and didn't want to move
I'm,
stuff around.
I mean, the older you get, I mean, it's just like, all right. Especially if you have to haul shit around now, you're like, all right, the lease is better, you know. I
Yeah,
I'd
that
always
was
be
the other
like,
really tough thing about our band was like it was me and him. So you go play somewhere and like I'd help him like carry in all these cabinets and shit. And then you finally get all that done and you're like, now I have to set up a drum set. Or vice versa, and you're like, Jesus Christ, this is like supposed to have like 5 people that do this. What the fuck? So we'd always get a friend to go with us as a roadie or whatever and make them run the merch table and yeah,
do
hang out with this married couple.
were you always are you one of the ones that are against playing the house quote unquote kit?
Out of fear,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, we got a house kit. Okay. And then you're like, I'm glad I brought my kit because this
There's
doesn't
like
look.
a cement block in front of the bass drum and
Yeah. Tape holding the damn the kick together, you know. Yeah.
there's like nothing on holding the cymbals at all.
No. Oh
They're just
yeah,
like
they're just wobbling. Yeah.
freewheeling.
If
You can't hit the cymbal and don't hit it again for like 4 minutes.
I
Great.
would always ask bands that we like if we play with bands that we play with all the time and I know the guys, I'd be like, hey, if you want, I'll bring my cab and you can use my cab, but just bring your head and vice versa. So that was always cool because I used to hate lugging my shit around, but
I know. I'm so lazy. I
because
don't want to.
no. And then I love when I started singing because I'm like, then I got to be the typical singer and be like, oh, wait, I'll be right back. I'll be right there. And then, oh, you guys got everything in already? Shit, I was about to come give you guys a hand.
Just got to disappear again.
Yeah, no, but
Mm-hmm.
and then when I was playing bass, most of the time, whoever I was riding with, they'd be like, oh, I already got everything loaded up. Like, oh, fuck, cool. So I started getting spoiled because I would always expect, or I'd know that they would already load it up for me. Like, where's Russ? Just let him sit at the bar and drink. It's all right. And after a night of playing at a bar, it's like I'm not good to fucking pick up anything, you know. So
That's
but,
why. I mean, like that just goes to show how hard it is. I think to sing in a band is because like as hard as it is to play drums, that doesn't scare me. Singing in a band, I can't. I
being up
don't.
front.
Yeah, being up front, trying to think of shit to say in between, um, not saying something
Oh,
like bad, like.
or saying something stupid. You're like, what did he just say? I started playing bass at first, and I was nervous as fuck. My first show, because I was playing with Mark Slaughter at the time. This is when we started taking under, and I was actually I wasn't in the band at first. The bass player, there was somebody else, a guy named Rico McCage, who was a phenomenal fucking bass player in this town. He was older than all of us by like probably 7 or 8 years, and but he was a beast on the bass. And when they kicked him out and they asked me to join, I was like, I don't even know how to play bass. You guys have to teach me. So they taught me all their songs. They're like, we're not going to teach you anything difficult. We're just going to show you the rhythm parts, and if you lose track, just follow the kick. I'm like, I can do that. So the guitar player came over and showed me how to play their songs for like 1 month. And then there was a show in December, and they're like, do you want to play this show in November, or you want to just cancel it? And I wasn't even ready to play yet. And I go, oh, we don't cancel shows.
We don't.
And they're like, well, that's a good thing. And I was like, fuck, I got like 3 weeks to go. So we go to this show. And before we go, it was up in Paducah, Kentucky, at this place called the Backwoods Metal Fest, which they've had many of them over the years. And it was the last exit before a gas station. And I told my guitar player, pull over. I got to get 2 fucking tall boys before we play. So I get 2 tall boys and I drink them before I get to the show. My nerves, I'm still fucking nervous as fuck. I'm setting my shit up. And they're like, all right, you guys going to 5. And I'm like, oh, hell, my nerves are going. But then once I hit that open note, it was all she wrote. And it was all she wrote. I became the biggest stage whore. And I blame Mark. I blame Mark for making me a stage whore. And to this day, even oh yeah, my stage when I'm on stage, I'm the biggest fucking whore. I want the attention. Like, give it to me. And then when I start,
I can't imagine
yeah,
that.
oh, I love it. And then when I started singing, it got worse. It got worse. But now I don't do anything I don't play any music right now. Once I went sober, I had to get away from it for a little bit. So
I could see that.
because that's what I always did when I played was drink. So
it's this job I have now. I travel a lot, and it's an easy thing to do. Is like everybody will get a drink after work, or like when you get back to the hotel or whatever. So it's I can do it, but I'm definitely much more of an adult.
Yeah, that's what I never did.
You're gonna drink a glass of water, and then you're gonna go to
bed. Were you a drinker back in the day, Ariel?
No, it's just weed mainly.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely had my fair share, but
yeah,
I like IPAs. I like craft beer quite a bit.
Yeah, I like a good IPA.
But I don't like drink to get drunk very much. It's just,
yeah,
you start to feel bad in like new and terrible ways as you get older. Like in the morning, I'll be like,
oh yeah,
crap. What did I do? I drank 2 like high gravity beers. Okay, can't ever do that again. You can have like 1 maybe.
Yeah, that is one thing that I don't miss is the waking up sober or waking up going, where am I at? Or that kind of shit. I was pretty bad, but I knew when to finally pull the plug. And it was May 5th of 2022. So that's when I said, no, scratch that. May 2023. Because May 2025 will be 2 years. So, but I love it. I've never felt better. So
I hear that from everybody that like has completely quit. So
yeah, I mean,
thought about it.
I still smoke every once in a while, but I don't do it on the regular basis. I do it just to relax every here and there.
Every night around 8 p.m.
Yeah. Now I'll smoke, but then I mean, I guess I I guess I do partake all the time because I eat edibles. So I guess it's the same.
I think a person should.
Yeah. Oh, it makes me feel so good. The other night for my birthday, I was like, you know what? I'm smoking tonight because I haven't smoked. So, but then I woke
Mm,
up. I woke up with the weed hangover.
what's
Which
that called? A brownout?
is that what it is?
I
Yeah.
think that's called a brown.
I was just like, whoa, what the fuck? But it was so good. So,
Yeah,
but
I'm just turning into an old lady where I can put the hammer down now.
yeah,
Instead
you
of
could
like,
say
let's
when.
see where this road goes. I'll be like, I need to wash my face and put on moisturizer and you know, be
Are you,
old.
do you have a cat?
No, I have a dog. We used to
Okay.
have two cats, and they did eventually both pass. One of them lived to be 22.
Holy crap.
Um, and yeah, he was a beast. And then we had this Aussie mix for a long time, dog that passed away, and he was like this super intelligent genius dog that was a member of the family. And then during COVID, I just couldn't stand it anymore. I was like, this house is so empty. And I literally got on my knees because he was not interested in a dog. He was
Yeah.
just now enjoying, like, we can just leave the house and go have a fucking life that we've worked so hard to
Yeah.
have. Like, we're not in jail. We don't have to do this. But yeah, I like got on my knees and begged. And we saw a picture of this dog. I'll send it to you. His name is Leo. He is we could tell he was a husky pit mix. He has bright blue eyes. He's kind of spooky looking, and he's got like the widow's peak.
Uh huh.
But then we got this DNA test, and it turns out he's mostly Pyrenees. He has short hair, but he's
Ah.
way bigger than we didn't know he was going to be that big. We were like, oh my god, he's 85 pounds, which is, I mean, there's plenty of dogs bigger than
Yeah.
that, but it's enough.
Yeah.
I have to like have him on a slip collar and stuff because like I don't know, he's not an Aussie. You feel like you're walking a loaded gun or something. Like he looks like he could fuck you up. And just
Did you name him Leo after the failure song?
no, well, whenever he was a puppy and he'd walk towards you, he
Uh huh.
looked like
A
a
lion.
lion. Yeah, just super ripped. I'm like, what puppy is ripped? This is stupid.
He's like, oh,
Um, but he's a big lover. I mean, he's not actually gonna do anything.
yeah. He's walking like he did some jail time.
Yes, he's got a very jailhouse junk. Like this kind of dog that lives in a car lot.
Oh shit. Um, my mom used to be anti dogs. Like when we were growing up, we had dogs and shit. And then my mom, when the house got cleared, there's no dogs anymore. My sister's dog came to stay with us, with my parents in Alabama. My parents live in Huntsville. Um, so they got this. They're watching this dog, and while my sister was in somewhere stay. She was because she's in the military, so she was gone somewhere. So she had to watch this dog. They had to watch her dog, and when she came to pick up the dog, my mom was like heartbroken because there was not a dog anymore in the house. So they got a puppy, and it's a black lab. And then
Oh,
a year later, they get another. These are all rescues. They get another dog. They get this older one. He's like 7 years old. Another lab. Now she has two dogs, and she was anti furniture with dogs when we were younger. And now the dogs run the fucking house. It's their house. My mom loves it. And now they have my sister's dog again because my sister's in Korea for a year. So they got three grown fucking dogs in this house. And my mom's just loving it. She loves it. But it's like, but I won't be going down for Christmas this year to visit because that's a lot of dog and a lot of adults in that house. It's like three dogs, my mom, my dad, my brother, and then me. That's just too many people in that house, and it's not a big house for that many dogs. So
hmm
Russ is going to Waffle House for dinner on Christmas.
We had a similar thing for Thanksgiving, like when we told Lip how many people were going to be at my brother's house, and like they don't have a big house. I don't have a big house, and yeah, we're like we can't fit 23 people, so we just blew it up. We're like everybody has to go do their own thing. Sorry,
Yeah, I mean,
uh, but it is what it is. I mean, you can't. I'm not trying to get COVID or give it to like, you know, an elderly relative because you're
Yeah.
all boxed up.
Do you go to Tampa to visit your mom?
Sometimes they
Yeah.
live like 30 minutes inland. Um, I don't get it,
Yeah.
but it's not, it's a different culture, different life. She's super happy, so
Yeah.
I'm happy that she's happy. But she married a guy that's like younger than her, and he's really fun, and he's into the praise band thing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, they live in this like very cookie cutter, and those
Community.
houses go for miles in every direction. Like, I mean, it's just staggering, and they have to drive. To me, it feels like forever to go anywhere, which is like I don't like that about Texas either. And
Yeah.
I don't know. In fact, I have to go to Texas all the time for work. And this last time on the way back, I was like, man, I just want to be able to like, I don't know, like the terrain. I want to see hills. I want to feel the humidity. This is northern Texas. So it was really dry and
Yeah.
windy, um, and they paint everything beige there.
Why
And
is
that's
that?
also the color of the landscape. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
everywhere you look, it's just this one beige color. I don't understand.
Is it to me? I mean, because I mean, I'm not saying Texas is desert, but it's a lot of, so it's a drier area, right? It's dry out there. It's not a lot of greenery, like
Like
in
there's
this.
places to the west, I think, of Austin that kind of look like Tennessee. They have rolling
Yeah.
hills and they're green, and Dallas almost reminds me of like New Orleans or something in places like old Spanish moss, magnolia trees. But then as soon as you get out of Dallas going north, it starts to get drier and drier and beige and beige and beige. And the headquarters of the company is in Frisco, and that's like a made up place, a made up town in the last couple decades where it's, yeah, there's nothing there that's more than a few years old, and it's kind of spooky. Like there are people like my mom would love that. It's super safe. Um, all the barbecue you can eat, you know, and there's really
Yeah.
good barbecue, and like,
I like
no.
good barbecue. So
So yeah,
you said your mom, like, they live inland in Tampa. See, Rob's moving. Rob will be in Tampa. His parents live there now, and he'll be moving there in within the next year. He's moving to
why?
Tampa to be with his family, his parents.
I guess that's,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. They need to come up here. I'm not going down there.
Yeah, I love what he has up in Denver, man. It's beautiful where he's at now. I've been up there probably 8 or 9 times. I've been out that way, visit him, house sit, watch his dogs while he goes to Hawaii with his parents, for their yearly family trip, because
Mm-hmm.
he's the only child, so it's just
Mm-hmm.
they go and they hang out and shit. Good dude. It's crazy that out of all these years, he's a guy that I've been connected to since we first met. It's weird.
I know when I listened to you guys, I was like, it's exactly like it was.
Oh yeah. And even when we're together, it's worse in person, It's cool to like this. We started these podcasts, like this podcast, my idea for this was 3 years, 4 years ago that I've had this making that I wanted to do this, but certain things were making me not be able to do it because I was not in the right mind space to do it. But after I focused on me for a year, I went ahead in March 23rd, I think I dropped my first episode this year. So, and only reason I know when I first had the idea, well, I had the idea for a while, but when I got my logo, I mean, Brandon Kettle?
I
He's
remember the name.
He was
Did he
Rob.
have?
He was with
Yeah.
Rob. Yeah. He's the one who made my logo, and he sent me that in 2022. So I've had this logo forever, but I finally got to use it. So, but no, me and him started talking about doing one that does just shooting the shit back about just whatever the 80s and 90s, just reminiscing. And that's our Moron Brothers one,
Yes.
yeah, which we were just going to call it the Moron Brother, the Moron Bros, but it's already taken. And so then we're
No, it's
like,
perfect. I
yeah,
was telling my friend about it, and yeah, they were like, "That's a really good name." Like, it
yeah.
is a good name.
And then the reason, and I picked that name because of the No Effects song, because
Mm-hmm.
that's my favorite No Effects records, but that song just fits us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then last week or 2 weeks ago, we started our wrestling podcast. So We're just keeping busy. We're just keeping busy. I like this is my music thing right now.
We didn't really talk about music. Sorry about that.
No, we can't. I mean, it's whatever. Well, I mean, it is what it is. You know, we still just talking bullshit, reminiscing. It's still fun to do. What's your all-time favorite record? Like, what's album can you just always put on and it can get you out of that mood that just makes you feel chill?
My favorite record ever would be Pony Express record by Shudder to Think. They're like my favorite band of all time, I think.
You know, I've talked to a lot of people, and I have never, no one's ever mentioned Shudder to Think.
They were
did you
DC.
see them? Did you see them at 328?
No, never got to see them.
Oh, okay.
I don't even. That's a sore one because it was mommy wouldn't let me go situation, and I was like, one of these days you're gonna regret this. I'm like still mad about it.
You know, it sucks because like we don't you never think that these bands are going to eventually just stop one day. You know, it's like but now we got this resurge of all these bands coming back out. They got to get that money. People are against it. I'm for it because
I'm for it.
There's a lot of bands that I have not seen, you know, like Mr. Bungle. I got to see fucking that's the closest I'm going to get to seeing Faith No More. And that's sad because I love fucking Faith No More, but
I never thought I'd see the Descendents.
And how good were they?
They were amazing. They were so animated and like just they were amazing. They were so tight. Great.
Yeah. Even look at Keith Morris. He's fucking like he was pushing 69 or you know, and he's up there bouncing around like he's not really doing a lot of bouncing, but he's doing it enough. And I'm like, damn, this dude still got it too, you know. And he's been doing circle jerks or black flags since 78, you know. That's insane. 78, and he's still going strong. And I got to see Adolescents. That I was happy about that. They're one of my faves too.
Yeah, I never
got into them.
I never thought I'd see them. Yeah, I never saw Rollins Band was a really formative band. I never saw Rollins Band.
I got to see Rollins Band, L7, and this small band. They didn't make it too big. I wish they would have got bigger than they were, but they're called the Beastie Boys. Yeah, they
was that at the Lollapalooza that you saw?
No, that was in San Francisco at the Cow Palace. Yeah, because you know, I don't know if you know, but I'm from San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay, so when I moved back to California,
so I knew you were from California anyway.
Yeah,
I guess I figured you were from LA for some reason.
Nah, I'm from the other part. But when I moved back from Germany, I'm all into music and shit. So the high school I went to, I obviously ran into people that liked a lot of stuff, and we would go to concerts together. And me and a bunch of these dudes went to go see that show. We went and saw Sonic Youth and Screaming Trees, and Kirk Hammett was there hanging out in the crowd. He gave my friend some water because my friend had a seizure in the middle of the pit, and we had to carry him out. And he's sitting there coming back, and Kirk Hammett's giving him some water to drink. And my buddy comes to, he's like, "Who the fuck is that?" And we're like, "Kirk Hammett." He goes, "Fuck Kirk Hammett." I was like, "He's fucking gave you water, dude." Like he's like, but he was that kind of guy though. You know, he was like, he's probably still like fuck Nirvana because they went mainstream, you know, that kind of dude, you know.
I was definitely, yeah. I was definitely that way. Like it's really unforgiving about everything all the time.
Yeah, I was too, but now I'm just like, you know, there's a lot of bands that I didn't fuck with because I was like, oh no, and now I'm like, oh, they're so talented, they're so good. Like it's because you know we're just young, you know, we're like, I'm not listening to that band. But one of my favorite bands from that era is, you remember that band called Sponge?
Yeah.
They're a band that I to this day still fuck with, and that's the record that I could put on at any time and just be like, because it's just a soothing record. They just came out with a new record a couple weeks ago called 1994, and it's all cover songs, and it's from songs from
that era.
Yep, they do Mazzy Star, they do Stone Temple Pilots, they do Oasis, they do Morrissey, they do Jawbox, They do just stuff that was popping in that era, and it's a great cover album. I like a good cover record.
Jawbox played that fest that we went to in Vegas,
Well,
and that was a band I never thought I'd get to see. So that was amazing to get to see them.
I always got Jawbox and Jawbreaker mixed up, and but Jawbox is phenomenal. Jawbreaker is phenomenal. But
so yeah, that band Shudder to Think I was telling you about, they were of like that same era.
Okay.
Like I think they were probably from the DC era. They had at least a couple albums on Discord, if not all of them. I'm really terrible at history, especially rock history. But
Shudder to Think was on Discord?
I believe so.
I mean, I can see if they're from DC, then I could totally see it because Ian would probably be like, I got this, I got you guys. And he's and Ian Mackay, however you want to say it, he still lives in the same fucking house since the 80s. It's a legendary punk rock house, It's pretty funky.
Like the most up there with like CBGB and
yeah. Well, CBGB's now is like what, an Urban Outfitters or some kind of upscale. But then they opened up a CBGB's, I think, in an airport somewhere, maybe like in Newark. There's like a CBGB's store in the airport, like a bar restaurant thing in the airport. It has a CBGB sign up there, and it's yeah. That's
cool.
No. They probably sell like $70 fucking Omfug shirts or whatever. I wish I can go to Seattle because I want to go to the Sub Pop store.
Yeah, I did go to the one in their airport.
Yeah,
it was great. It's super fun. There's a lot of really good stuff in it.
Did you get anything for you're there?
Oh yeah, I got all sorts of stuff. What did I get? I got a couple Sub Pop Records T-shirts and a hoodie, and
you got to.
Mm-hmm.
I've never owned a Sub Pop shirt. I've always wanted one. I think I need to buy myself one. I have an original still to this day, and I wear it all the time. An original Rancid Let's Go shirt. It's maroon or purple or whatever you want to, fuchsia. I don't fucking know. It's one of those colors with black print. And then I have a Sublime shirt still, with the sun and the skunk on the back, skunk records on the back. And then I got this shirt, this Sid Vicious shirt that I got from the Sound Shop in Clarksville. I 5-finger discounted it. This one and a Skinny Puppy shirt.
Oh, nice.
And I still have the Skinny Puppy shirt. And I have a Fugazi In on the Kill Taker shirt as well still. And they all fit me. Because, it's good. I guess it's good to still fit in your old clothes. Or they were just so baggy and I finally fitted into them. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, we wore them pretty big back then. I bet you could get a lot of money for that Rancid shirt, that Sublime shirt.
Well, that Fugazi one too, considering they didn't really make much merch back then,
Yeah, I don't think they made any. I don't think that's an officially licensed.
It was,
because you could get their poster at Stone Mountain.
Yeah. Oh shit! Did you hear us talking about Stone Mountain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Rob just sent me a post today from Reddit because he was listening to our podcast today while I was getting his haircut. So he looked up Stone Mountain, and so many people remember that place. That place was so epic. That was a cool place. I love that store, man.
Mm-hmm. That place and that place Karma on
on the corner of
Avenue
in Broadway, right?
Yeah.
Dancing Dragon had a small tattoo parlor in the back there for a little bit. My buddy Dave was tattooing in the back. Rest in peace, Dave. So you said Karma and you said Stone Mountain. Do you remember the Attic in Clarksville?
No,
it was above. It was above the warehouse. Okay, and it was around the early. Like I say early because when I was here, so 93 to 96 ish. It was basically like a vintage store, not vintage, but just it was like 5 or 6 tables with just mountains of clothes, and you used to dig through these clothes just to find shit. And it was like 5 shirts for $10 or something, So you would just dig and dig. Man, I found so many gems in there, and some fucking wetness, some shirts too that weren't probably, But yeah, I miss some of those old shirt places or Goodwill, and good when you can go to Goodwill and actually find something now you can go to Goodwill and you can't find shit because everybody gets there so early to resell,
Yeah,
which,
and it's a lot more expensive than it was,
oh yeah, you're not paying 50
unfortunately.
cents, 50 cents for a shirt. You're paying like $6 for a green label shirt or green label
Mhm.
tag. But
Mhm.
I had a Today's the Day shirt, and I didn't even think about it until a couple months ago when I got rid of it, of who was there in the band now. But I sold it for $70.
That's what I was gonna. Have you been on Depop?
That's where I'm at. I got all my stuff on Depop, but
Mm,
I've marked everything down to cheap. But I've made some money off some merch.
yeah, me too.
I mean,
Definitely.
I'm not gonna lie. Like if I have it and I know I can get something from myself, I'm not flipping them. It's just shit that I used to have. I wear and I don't wear anymore. So I'm gonna get rid of it to give it to somebody else. I sold a shirt for $100, an Acacia strain shirt for $100.
They're fucking sick.
They used to stay at my house here in
I
Clarksville.
Are you serious? I
Uh-huh.
never listened to them until like a year ago. Jim was listening
Yeah.
to them, and I just like missed it, and it's like this is heavy. It's
Yeah.
great.
When Wormwood came out during that whole era, I was hanging out with them. They would come stay here when they went and played in California at Slim's. And the day I flew in to go visit my family, I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, y'all, but I got to go see Acacia Strain tonight, and I'll see you guys sometime later. And here's my suitcases." And I went and hung out with them. And yeah, if you ever get to see them live, man, go check them out. They're dope, and yeah, they're a good
Oh
band.
yeah.
I think now there's only like I think it's just one. I think Vincent's the only original member in the band now. They have a whole new lineup, but their guitar player has been in the band for at least 10 years now, so he's kind of original in the band. But yeah, they're good, man. Sorry you didn't hear about them before. They're really cool.
Mm,
You're
missed
cool.
me,
We had some good time
dude.
with those guys.
I gotta make dinner.
You're good. Well, send me some
Because by
dinner.
make dinner, I mean DoorDash is gonna show up.
Yeah, what are you door dashing?
Jim ordered Vietnamese food. We live on the west side of town, and there's
Okay,
like 4 amazing Vietnamese restaurants. Um, so yeah, this is Miss Saigon, but they're all good.
I bet. Well, it's been real fun, chicken chatting.
Yeah,
I'm glad you
I
did
would
it.
do it again.
Well, just send me a photo of you.
Okay, I've got some
And
funny pictures for you too.
yeah, do that. Send them to me.
Okay.
After we get off, don't get off real quick. I gotta make sure this
Okay.
uploads first. So, but Rachel, it's been fun. I'm glad we got to catch up for a little bit and talk some stuff. And we'll do this again soon.
Word. See you, dude.
Peace.
Peace.